Good day, everyone. Good day, sir. I am Ruby May J. Estrella, and I am one of the members of the Group 2 in the subject, the HPC 124, the Micro Perspective of Tourism and Hospitality. And I was assigned to report about the topic, the introduction of transportation to the low-cost careers. So, transportation. What is transportation? Transportation, the term derived is from the Latin words which is trans, which means across, and portere means to carry. So, transportation is the movement of people and goods from one place to another. So, transportation is the movement of humans, animals, and goods from one location to another. In other words, the action of transport is defined as particular movement of an organism or thing from a point A to point B. Transportation is further divided into air, road, rail, water, and others. So, we have the air transportation. So, what is air transportation? So, air transportation is the movement of passengers on freight by any conveyance that can sustain controlled flight. So, air transportation means the business of transporting natural persons, property, cargo, and mail by aircraft. Air transportation means the operation of a transportation system by aircraft for the carriage of person, property, and clothing activities reasonably necessary to such operation. We have the air transportation. So, what is air transportation? So, air transportation, humanity's desire to fly, possibly first found expression in China, where human flight tied to kites is recorded as a punishment. Then, Chinese kite flying in 2,500 years old, 6th century Emperor Cao Yang during an early purge used an aerodynamic experiment to kill his enemies. So, Icarus, who is Icarus? Icarus is a character in Greek mythology. He is the son of Daedalus and is commonly known for his attempt to escape Crete by flight, which ended in a fall to his death. So, the first generally recognized human flight took place in Paris in 1783. A hot air balloon traveled 5 miles invented by the Montgolfier brothers, who are Joseph Michael of 1740 to 1810 and Jacques Einstein of 1745 to 1999. So, were two Americans who are generally credited with invented and building the world's first successful airplane, making it the first controlled, powered, and sustained heavier than air human flight on December 17, 1903 in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, Wilbur, and Oval Red. DELAG means Diacello Chifar Chichen Giselle Chef, or the German Airship Transport Corporation was the world's first airline. It was founded on November 16, 1909 with government assistance. So, men and women aviation. So we have Charles Lindbergh made the first solo crossing of Atlantic. This feat sparked the interest of aviation. Then we have Amelia Earhart lost an attempt in 1973 to make the longest circumnavigation in the world. So we have the first countries in Europe to embrace air transport, where we have Finland, France, UK, Germany, and the Netherlands. So, some of the first countries in Asia to embrace air transport were India, Hong Kong, Indonesia, and Malaysia, of course, the Philippines. So, the first country in Asia to embrace air transport is the Philippines. The Philippine Airlines, or the PAL, was founded on February 28, 1941, making it Asia's oldest carrier, still operating under its current name. So we have the airline was founded by a group of businessmen led by Andres Soriano Sr., held as one of the Philippines' leading industrial at the time. So the airline's first flight was made on March 15, 1941, with a single Beech Model 18 NTC 15 aircraft, which started its daily services between Manila, Neilfield, and Baguio. So notably, Philippine Airlines leased Japan Airlines their first aircraft. So AVC3 names Kinsei. So only on July 31, 1946, chartered Philippine Airlines DC-4 feared 40 American servicemen to Oakland, so California from Maysland Airport and Makati City with stops in Guam, Wake Islands, Johns Atoll, and Honolulu. So Honolulu to Hawaii, making PAL the first Asian airline to cross the Pacific Ocean. So we have the aviation system. So what is aviation? So aviation is the term used to describe the industry that builds and flies aircraft. So aircraft manufacturing. So aircraft manufacturing. So we have civil aviation. So major carriers, domestic and international, regional carriers, commute, which is the commuters, the supplementary carriers, which is the charters, the cargo, general aviation. So we have private planes, pleasure flying, and land surveying, flying instruction, agriculture use, cargo, corporate jet, air taxi services. Next is we have airport operations. So aviation supports industries. It is further divided into two. So civil aviation means the industry that flies the public from place to place. So example is the airplane. So they have military aviation, aircraft flown by a nation's air force and other branches in the military. Civil aviation, in turn, is divided into domestic service. So what is domestic service? So domestic service, a flight must start and end within the border of the same country. That is domestic service. Next is we have international service. So what is international service? So international service, the flight starts in one country and end in another country. Then we have air service and roads. So scheduled service means is an air transportation that operates regularly at set advertised times no matter how many people are booked on the flight. Then next is we have the chartered service. So what is chartered service? So chartered service flow by charter airlines usually sell assets to tour operators. The occasional nature of their flights, they are not usually advertised. And so the way scheduled flights are. So we have privately owned jets. So in some cases, business travelers, usually senior executives, fly on a corporate jet that their company owns. So mostly, example of this is the businessmen and businesswomen who use private jet or airplane, helicopters to reach their destination faster. The next is we have fractional ownership. So what is fractional ownership? So fractional ownership is the plane has multiple owners who have set an amount of flight hours they can cost. So flight types and routes. Non-stop flight. Traveler goes from point A to point B on the same aircraft with no stop and between. So this is, for example, Manila to Cebu, no stopping. Uh, they are in the same aircraft with no stop in between. So we have direct flight. So what is direct flight? So direct flight traveler goes from point A to point B on the same aircraft, but the aircraft stops at an airport in between. The flight will still have one flight number. There is a stopping. So connecting flight traveler to get his destination must change plane once or twice or even more times. So each flight will have different flight numbers. So next, the another way to look flights from the traveler ticketing point of view is one-way flight itinerary. So what is one-way flight itinerary? So it is the traveler goes to point A to point B. Then we have the round trip flight itinerary. So the round trip flight itinerary is the traveler flies from point A to point B, stays a while, and then returns from B to A. So that is a reverse flight. Then we have the open jaw flight itinerary. So the traveler flies from point A to point B, then travel by ground transportation from B to C, then returns by air from C to A. Okay, so we have the next is circle flight itinerary. So circle flight itinerary, the traveler has two or more extended stopovers and returns to the originating city. That's what we call the circle flight itinerary, which is their travel where like a circle, they are rotating. So classification of airlines. So we have the major, full, or service carriers. So what is major, full, service carriers? So it is the servicing both domestic and international, including long haul flights. So usually offers several classes of service. So next is we have the regional service carriers. Also known as feeder airlines because their flights feed passengers from small cities into big city airports and help fill the large planes of the major airlines. So next, what is low cost carriers or LCCS? So LCCS is emerged after the liberalization of civil aviation in North America and Europe in 1970s. So cheap point-to-point services without any frills. So they offer basic services. Passengers have the option to pay for extras such as food on board and flight, entertainment, and check and baggage.